You know that for thousands of years, the most jaw-dropping Bible prophecy has been hiding right under our noses. It's so powerful that once it's revealed, it will trigger World War III within 24 hours. That's according to multiple sources inside the DoD. And in this short video, I'm going to show you this shocking prophecy. But I'll also explain how understanding it is the one key you need to properly protect and provide for your family in these dark days. Especially once you see how this prophecy is tied to a secret tunnel system mapped by British archaeologists in 1889, but promptly sealed up due to political pressure. How a truly satanic agenda for artificial intelligence will strip Americans of our God-given liberties, all in the name of being for your own good. How this bone-chilling prophecy will force reveal the identity of the Antichrist with near 100% certainty. Once you see and understand how destabilizing this imminent prophecy is, you'll understand that everything you've ever been taught about protecting your family in these last days has been built on a convenient lie birthed in the very pit of hell. Then here's the truth. Protecting and preparing your family for what's about to be unleashed is your responsibility. 2 Timothy 5:8 says it plain as day. But if anyone does not provide for his own, and especially for those of his household, he has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. The government isn't coming to save you. The church is weaker than it's ever been, crumbling right in front of our eyes, and the family unit has never been under a more vicious attack. But you already knew that, but what you don't know is the prophecy I'm about to reveal in this video. I'll share how a shock encounter with a renegade seminary professor finally opened my eyes. Plus, I'll reveal exactly how I'm protecting my family from the dark days ahead. I call it the Temple Tunnel Strategy, and I promise it's not anything you've ever seen or heard of before. But that's because it's based on the secret prophecy that's been under the radar for thousands of years. Which means it's the one key to keeping your family safe, secure, and sane in these last days. It's simple yet powerfully effective and cheaper than you'd ever guess. You don't have to spend millions on a doomsday bunker like the media elites are building all over the world right now. You can start using the Temple Tunnel Strategy today because, like Jesus said, no one knows the day or the hour. Any worries and uncertainties you have about your family's future will be a thing of the past, giving you a life of true Christian freedom and an unshakable sense of security and confidence. I don't care if you're a hardcore fundamentalist or a barely believing skeptic. This will work for you and your family. And I understand if you're skeptical right now. I was skeptical too. I mean, how many so-called prophecies were nothing but hot air coming from a money-hungry preacher? But just wait until you see what AI-assisted sonar has revealed. Smack dab in the middle of Israel, right under all our noses, what I'm about to reveal will expose some of the dark plans of the global elite, which means I don't know how long this website will be able to stay online. So make sure and watch this all the way through to the end while you can. Your family's health, well-being, and safety depend on it like never before. For example, you'll discover the little-known survival item that weighs less than 5 ounces, but can purify over 264 gallons of water. How to turn a Home Depot bucket into a fortress that protects your water, food, and gear in any disaster scenario. And it's not what you think. How this simple Jeremiah test can reveal if that friend at church is a true ally, or a leech who will sabotage your family's safety the moment disaster strikes. I strongly believe the more self-reliant families make it through the crisis, the easier it will be to rebuild our nation. But let's back up for a minute so I can introduce myself. My name is Austin Murphy, and I'm a Marine Scout sniper. I've been happily married for 15 years, and I'm the proud father of the 3 most beautiful girls on the planet. We live in rural Arkansas. As you might guess, I spent most of my adult life behind enemy lines in hot zones downrange. Since World War II, Marine Corps Scout snipers have been the elite hidden protectors of our brothers in arms. We're highly trained in marksmanship, concealment, and fieldcraft, and we prepare paying the closest attention to the smallest details, because that's what helps us survive and thrive behind enemy lines. Recognizing the right signs is what brought me home safe and sound to my wife and daughters. Since leaving active duty, I've turned what my wife calls my intense attention to detail into being a survival coach and consultant. Nowadays, I can't do any public live training seminars like I want to, which is why I've been led by God to make my knowledge, training, and skills available to all American families. So my infamous intense attention to detail started to get triggered big time back in early 2020. I was noticing patterns and details that just weren't adding up. Maybe you can relate to questioning the mainstream narrative we watched as a global pandemic was spreading like wildfire around the globe, killing millions. All while civil unrest was destroying our cities, and then the skyrocketing food and gas prices hit, along with runaway inflation that had families everywhere struggling just to survive. Then we saw the ever-present threat of nuclear war rear its ugly head as Russia invaded Ukraine and China set its sights on Taiwan. Again. It's just as Jesus predicted in Matthew 24. For nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there will be famines, pestilences, and earthquakes in various places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Everything is unfolding exactly as Jesus said it would 2,000 years ago. But at the time, the pandemic felt like a first sign of a terrifying string of events. And make no mistake, humanity as a whole has never faced anything like this before. For then there will be great tribulation, such as has not been since the beginning of the world until this time, no, nor ever shall be. Matthew 24:21. In just a moment, I'll show you a brand new biblical prophecy that will send shivers down your spine. Yet in spite of what's been happening before our eyes, you won't hear anything about what's coming next from the mainstream media. And strangely, you don't hear about this from our pulpits anymore either. Our leaders have gone strangely quiet, and there's a very good reason for that, as Jesus said. Then they will deliver you up to tribulation, and you will be hated for my name's sake, and then many will be offended, will betray one another, and will hate one another. Matthew 24:9-10. You see, there is a reason why God left us these very specific prophecies and warnings. Encoded within the words of the final chapters of the Bible is a hidden path to salvation. A way for true believers to survive and thrive during the times of tribulation. Just like Noah built his ark so his family could escape the flood. It truly doesn't matter if you've been a devout Christian, an agnostic, or an atheist. Everyone will be tested. Can you relate to feeling tested over the last several years? But it's only going to get worse, as Jesus said, but he who endures to the end shall be saved. Matthew 24:13. I'll show you how this brand new bone-chilling prophecy will impact and test your family to the extreme in just a few moments. Plus, you'll see the exact steps you can take right now to make sure you and your loved ones can endure to the end and escape these dark days.